Here is every big NFL free agency move from Monday, March 10th for you in less than 10 minutes. If you're new here, my name is Max. I make football content every single day for you to keep you updated and informed on everything going on in the NFL and college football world. So if you want to stay updated, you like hearing my 2 cents on this stuff, make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss any videos that will come your way that could provide extra value to you as a fan or analyzing your favorite team. If you've been here before, you enjoy my type of content, make sure to leave a like. Without further ado, though, let's get into it. As I read through this list, and if you're seeing me looking at my screen down a little bit, it's because I have a big list. Make sure you let me know the favorite move that your team made, as well as another move you saw from across the league that you really liked that was not from your favorite team. Let's break these moves down. And the most recent move that was made was the New York Giants bringing Darius Slayton back on a 3-year, $36 million deal. Personally, I like it for the New York Giants. I think it makes a lot of sense for them to bring in a wide receiver too. I just didn't expect it. I thought he was going to get more like 14, 15 million, but the Giants bring him back at a moderately discounted price. Zach Wilson is going to the Miami Dolphins on a 1-year, $6 million deal. That $6 million is guaranteed. It could get up to $10 million. I mean, he's coming in to be a backup. That's the reality of it. We know it's to his team. Charvarius Ward is going to the Indianapolis Colts. 3 years, $60 million. To me, this was the best corner in the market. Obviously, people say a lot of really good things about Paulson Adebo, who the Giants signed. We'll talk about him in a little bit here too. But before I say anything else, a little breaking news here. The Bengals are signing Akeem Davis-Gaither to a 2-year deal. The Cardinals are signing Akeem Davis-Gaither, 2 years, $11 million, coming from the Bengals, so good to know there. If you're a Cardinals fan, there you go. You got a linebacker. If you see me looking at my phone too, there's stuff that's going on. Charvarius Ward, 3 years, $60 million. Again, $2 million more per year than Paulson Adebo. Better player than Paulson Adebo, in my opinion, but 3 years older. Adebo's coming off a broken fibula, I think. It was broken leg, so makes sense. The Colts secondary is really good. It's getting really good. They're making some really good moves, and we're going to talk about that as well. Bills are signing former Ram Michael Hoyt, 3 years, $21 million. Another big one. Javonte Williams is signing a 1-year, $3 million deal with the Dallas Cowboys. Interesting. Javonte is going to Dallas. Let's keep talking everything that's happened today. Browns acquire Kenny Pickett for Dorian Thompson-Robinson and a 5th-round pick. It's a quarterback 3 upgrade. Don't think too much of it. But the Browns also had to cut Dalvin Tomlinson as a result of all of these moves, as a result of Myles Garrett getting $40 million per year. I don't love it, but it had to happen. The Browns had to save money some way. He's 31 years old. Dalvin Tomlinson had to go. The Raiders are bringing back Malcolm Kuntz, 1-year extension, $12 million. Kuntz started almost a dozen games in 2023. Good year. Missed last season, hurt. The Jaguars are signing Robert Hainsey, 3 years, $21 million. People love to play in Florida, no state income tax. I got a TikTok coming out about that as well. Nate Hobbs going to the Packers, 4 years, $48 million. They get some corner help. Jair Alexander's status still kind of up in the air. Don't know what's going to happen with him. That helps the Packers in the DB room a lot. Brandon Stevens is going to the New York Jets. That's a big one for them. They lost DJ Reed to the Lions. We'll talk about that. 3 years, $36 million for Brandon Stevens, a very good deal, a team-friendly deal, to be honest with you, for the Jets to get their cornerback too. Chargers get another cornerback in Dante Jackson, 2 years, $13 million. Not going to come in and be their number one, but going to come in and help as well. Javonte Williams, again, definitely going to the Cowboys now, officially confirmed. The Panthers are bringing in Patrick Jones, the second, 2 years, $20 million, 7 sacks last season for Patrick Jones. The Panthers made some really good moves. All defensive moves, though. They're not leaning into the offense, which makes me think they'll probably go offense in the draft. Regardless, former Panther Jeremy Chin is going to the Las Vegas Raiders. I like that a lot. I loved him in Washington. Was pretty good in Carolina, too. Loved him in Washington. He's coming in 2 years, $16 million. Very good player, good defensive leader. And it's now coming from a team that won games, which is big. The Vikings are signing Isaiah Rodgers, 2 years, $15 million. Isaiah Rodgers really the cornerback 4 in Philly last year. But you know what? He's going to come into a DB needy room, like a really badly DB needy room, which is huge for him. He's going to get plenty of opportunities. He's going to have an increased role. It's going to be really good for him. The Jaguars are signing Patrick McCarry, 3 years, $37.5 million. Started every game last year. Again, Jaguars building up that offensive line, winning in the trenches before they do anything else. Keeping Trevor Lawrence upright. Brian Thomas Jr., we all know, is very good, but you got to keep Trevor Lawrence upright. Let him deliver the ball. Trade we did not talk about, Laramie Tunsil going to the Commanders, which is crazy, for, I believe, the 4th round pick, 2025 4th, with Tunsil. Tunsil 2025 4th, and then 2025 3rd and 7th, and then 2026 2nd and 4th. To me, that the Texans are probably going to use to load up on trades. Like the Texans, he's a little bit older and he's been a little injury prone. He's damn good. But to me, that those are picks the Texans are going to use in trades down the line. Oh, my beautiful New York Giants signing Roy Robertson Harris as well as Paulson Adebo. Roy Robertson Harris, backup defensive tackle or depth defensive tackle, probably at least 2 years, $10 million. I mean, they needed some defensive line depth. Now, Paulson Adebo, I believe it's 3 years. It'd be 18 per million. 18 million per year for Adebo. That's the reality of it. He was damn good 2023. 2024 was also very good, but broke his leg in that Thursday night game against the Denver Broncos. Obviously didn't play the rest of the year. This is a 25-year-old corner who's shown some really good things that had his value drop down a little bit because he was hurt. He had a season-ending injury last year, so that makes a lot of sense. Packers are bringing in Aaron Banks, big payday for him, 4 years, $77 million, 43 starts. In the last 3 years for Aaron Banks. They need to keep Jordan Love upright. Obviously, they lost John Runyon last offseason, weren't fully able to replace him, get him upright, Jordan Love upright, the interior of their offensive line. It makes sense they bring in Aaron Banks. The craziest one, though, up front, Grady Jarrett, cut by the Falcons this morning. A couple hours later, the Chicago Bears, who are cooking, guys, the Bears are cooking, bringing Grady Jarrett 3 years, $43.5 million. Another defensive tackle. The Titans bring back Sebastian Joseph Day, 1 year, $7.5 million. Samaje Perine, oddly enough, going home to Cincinnati, 2 years, $3.8. Josh Sweat, a big payday for him, 4 years, $77 million, 41 guaranteed. That's less than $20 million per year AAV, which is a big number that Josh Sweat could have cracked, but going to Arizona, going to be the number one, reuniting with Jonathan Gannon is a big, big move. The Bills signed Josh Palmer, 3 years, $36 million, very similar to Darius Slayton. Actually, the exact number is Darius Slayton to, again, be a depth guy. Patriots just got Mac Hollins, so that makes a lot of sense too. They knew they were going to lose Hollins. They got to fill his void somehow. Talanoa Hufanga going to the Denver Broncos, which is insane to me. This Broncos defense is one of the best, if not the best in the NFL now. Hufanga at his best is a damn good player, a damn good safety in a secondary with Pat Surtain now. A lot of different guys up front. The anonymous crush, I believe it's called. Very, very good defense, and getting a defensive leader and a safety is going to help that defense so much, guys. Going to help them so much. Justin Fields, we got one of two quarterback news breaks. 2 years, $40 million to the Jets. I love it. I have been pushing Justin Fields up this entire offseason. Sounds like the Steelers offered him 2 years, $30 million, and the Jets offered him $10 million more. Where do you think he went? Like, this makes a lot of sense. He's coming in to guaranteed be the starter. I highly doubt they take somebody number 7 overall in the draft now. Chicago Bears, again, we talked about them cooking. They signed Dayo. 3 years, $48 million, 32 guaranteed. A good player, had a much better 2023 than 2024. But again, the Bears really need edge guys. They need defensive linemen. That makes a lot of sense. We're getting some notifications here. Nope, nothing crazy. We talked about the Colts, guys. Cam Bynum, 4 years, $60 million. So 60 apiece to Cam Bynum, Charvarius Ward for 3 years, Cam for 4 years. That secondary is good, guys. They are getting Kenny Moore some help. They're getting that defense as a whole some help. That team is good. Obviously, they lost their center to the Minnesota Vikings, but that defense is very, very good. Cam Bynum secondary is very good. I won't say defense. Cam Bynum coming in, immediate impact player in that secondary. Jaguars signed Jordan Lewis and Eric Murray. Eric Murray's coming in 3 years, $22.5. Jordan Lewis coming in 3 years, $30 million, the highest paid nickel ever. Sam Darnold, the other big quarterback news, 3 years, $110.5 million or $100.5 million. I keep getting that mixed up for some reason. 55 of which is guaranteed, so a little over half guaranteed. When they traded away Geno Smith, you knew they were going to try to get a win now quarterback. They won 10 games last year. It made a lot of sense. I could have seen Rodgers. I could have seen Fields. But Sam Darnold seemed to always be the guy there. 3 years in Seattle, had one of his best games of the year at Seattle, too. I think that's stuck in their head a little bit. Sam Darnold to Seattle. A couple defensive tackles. Milton Williams going to the Patriots. 4 years, $106 million. $106 million. The Patriots made some crazy other moves. You got Carlton Davis. Obviously, you brought in Harold Landry. You got Robert Spillane. These guys are making some crazy, crazy moves. They got rid of Davon Godchaux this morning, but this Patriots team, guys, they're making some moves. That defense is significantly better. Like defensive tackles back on that track, though. Poona Ford to the Rams, 3 years, $29.6 million. He, I believe, started every game last year, had a good 2024. And then not so great defensive tackle news for Larry Ogunjobi, but a guy who hits the market, was released by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tre'Von Moehrig going to the Carolina Panthers, 3 years, $51 million. They needed their safety. I thought they were going to get Javon Holland, to be fully honest with you, but the Panthers get Tre'Von Moehrig for probably less than what Holland's going to get. Good year last year, couple picks, 100-plus tackles, very, very good year for Tre'Von Moehrig. We talked briefly about DJ Reed, but 3 years, $48 million in a defense that played a lot of man last year. He can play man pretty well. It makes sense how much they changed with Aaron Glenn leaving in terms of schematics. We wait to see, but he fits their scheme, at least what we saw last year, pretty well. Patriots are bringing in Morgan Moses, 3 years, $24 million. Matt Parrott is staying in Denver. Robert Spillane talked about going to New England. Derek Barnett going back to Houston. Carlton Davis going to New England. We talked about that. 4 years, $82 million for Dan Moore. Leaves Pittsburgh, goes to Tennessee. I am not sure how I feel about that much money, but Dan Moore's a good player, and the Titans need a left tackle. Most important thing here, though, J.C. Latham can now go back to right tackle, go to his natural position. That had to have been a factor here, right? Talked about Jordan Lewis. Jimmy Garoppolo is going back to the Rams. Javon Kinlaw signing with the Commanders. 3 years, $45 million. The Commanders continue to get better and better and better and better and better and better and better. BJ Hill, we talked about him very briefly, going back to the Bengals. A huge, huge move for the Cincinnati Bengals. Drew Dalman going to Chicago. The Bears get their center, their franchise center, quote unquote. 3 years, $42 million, 28 of which guaranteed. Second highest paid center in the entire NFL. We got some notifications here. Nothing. Jaylon Moore going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Tackle to keep Patrick Mahomes upright. 2 years, $30 million, 21, I believe, guaranteed. Chris Godwin going to the back to the Bucs. This is crazy. He took $20 million less to stay in Tampa. And, state income tax, talked about it. It's a very real thing. But the New England Patriots really wanted this guy reportedly, and he stayed in Tampa. Haason Reddick is going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well. 1 year, $14 million. Ben Bredeson's going back to Tampa. 3 years, $22 million. Tampa's keeping guys. People love playing in Tampa. It's the weather. It's the state income tax. It's a good team, too, and they're probably going to win their division again. Khalil Mack is going back to the Chargers. I said that multiple times on here. It was going to happen. The writing was on the wall. J.C. Horn signing a big extension with the Carolina Panthers. I believe 3/4 of the deal was guaranteed, so a little less than $75 million guaranteed, $100 million overall for 4 years. A couple other notable things. Tress Way re-signing with the Commanders. DJ Jones re-signing with the Broncos. Sheldon Rankins to the Texans. And that is it. Again, let me make sure there's no breaking news on my phone right now. That is it. Everything that has happened up until this point. The end of the day, quote unquote, on March 10th. 2025, day one of tampering, day one of free agency, basically. If you guys enjoyed today, you enjoyed the content today, do make sure to leave a like on this video. Again, helps me a ton. If you're new, subscribe, join the family so you don't miss any more videos coming out talking about free agency and the impact it has on the draft in about a month and a half. We will see you guys next time. Appreciate you watching. God bless.